Detroiters Season 2 premiere, April in the D and Jefferson Porter. Definitely two really funny episodes kicking Season 2 off for Detroiters. They started it right off with the Mr. Allen's reference, which I thought was hilarious. I never realized Mr. Allen's was only Detroit. That was a thing. I saw the commercials so freaking much, I just always thought Mr. Allen's is everywhere. 29 2 for 50. But that is not the case, so that was super funny. For everyone, obviously, who isn't from Detroit who happens to check out this review, Mr. Allen's is like that's where you would get. If it wasn't Foot Locker, it was Mr. Allen. So that was our thing. And the drawing that they had looked just like the dude. It was him and it was a dude in an orange shirt. It was a cartoon character, and he would always like 29 250. Like it was exactly what they did. So it was super funny. There was one point where they actually went like 3D with the commercials too. Pelly Pelly 75 or 2 for 100, something crazy like that. I remember that commercial. I don't know why. But yeah, that was Mr. Allen's. That was super funny. The craziest reference that they had was the lawyer stuff. Joanna Caruz is an actual lawyer in Detroit, and that was the craziest thing because as soon as she showed up, I was like, "Is that her from the billboards?" Because her billboards are all over, and I was like, "That can't be her." And then it was actually her. I assumed that was actually her and not just an actress that they had as her because they used like her real name. So I assumed that was actually her doing that, which is super funny to me. But I was like, that's definitely like that's a real lawyer. They didn't put the real number, that's for sure, but they did put 248 because she's in Southville. But I thought that was funny. I was like, holy crap, that was, I'm assuming, actually her. But that was super funny. Tim Meadows is actually from Detroit. That's what my dad told me, so I didn't know that. But his character was hilarious in this episode where he was like super unconfident in his commercial, and then like he should be like this in his as a lawyer, like as confident as he was in his April in the D song, which that was funny. The one that they had at the end of the episode was super funny too. But the whole first episode was just utterly ridiculous. Like both episodes just had me cracking up. Like I'm gonna probably be jumping back and forth because I don't remember every single moment like in order. But Mr. Allen's thing was hilarious. I still can't believe they got like an actual lawyer to do that. That was super funny to me. But Sheila gets drunk. They get a super super crappy lawyer, and I love this commercial too. It was like, oh, you put a guy in who didn't even actually win. It was like, I got 6 years in jail, but I know Walt really tried. He even cussed when we lost, and I was like, that's hilarious, but that's really bad. So that was just super funny. Like everything they had him say was funny. It was like, I'm kind of a Mac with dog bites. Like, wait till they're eating their food and grab their crotch. I'm just like, this is really insane. This is utterly ridiculous. So definitely love what they did with the first episode. It had me cracking up. And then episode 2 was also hilarious with the suits, and it was funny just the way they were doing the introduction. It was like, we need 2 people because he needs somebody to laugh with and stuff. It's like, am I wrong? And it's like, man, every suit commercial is 2 people just going like, haha, and then they look at the camera. Like, that's every suit commercial. And I honestly never thought of that before, but that's every suit commercial. Like, that's exactly what it is. It's just 2 people laughing. It's just 2 dudes like in suits, and they're just looking at stuff or they're laughing at each other. It's like nonsensical crap. And it's like, that's exactly what it is. So that was funny. Ned had me like crying laughing when he was like talking about his girlfriend, and she was like, he was like, I know him. It was like bullshit. He was like, get your shit and get out of my house. It was like, he just snapped, and I just started laughing. That was so funny to me. But Ned is always funny. Like every time he's in the show, it's just hilarious. So love that scene. And then them just going through the episode and Tim like freaking out. It's like, man, we had, you're in the commercial and everybody thinks he's famous. Everybody's paying attention to Sam, and Tim's just like, I really want to be in this commercial. I want to be famous too. So that was funny as usual. They just end up screwing themselves over in the end. I wish they also did in the first episode with the Science Center. That was the other thing, was that they went to the Science Center, which is super funny. They were going up the escalator, and I was like, yeah, I like going up that escalator too because it's pretty sweet. But that was definitely funny. The bully commercial that they did for the Science Center was like, bully, I'm not a dork. That means like a Will's penis. It was like, what concept is that? It was like, oh, we couldn't get any good testimonials from, the Science Center, which is a super sweet place. I love the Science Center. But that was super funny. The scene after they were at the Science Center was also hilarious, where the dude was yelling at Sheila and was like, get the edge. That had me cracking up too. But going back to the second episode, them at the end with the Mr. Boom thing was so freaking funny to me, where it was just like, especially when it got to the end where Tim was just like, especially when he went up to that very last girl and was like, if this wasn't a commercial, he was getting super sad about it because everybody was like just looking away. One kid with the jean vest was just like counting the buttons on his shirt, and I was just laughing, and he's just like, It was real life, not a commercial. You kids will dance with me, right? And he was getting so depressed. That joke was super funny. And then, of course, they made it like, a commercial that made perverts think that they could get into a teens club to molest kids. So, fell apart as usual. Something's got to go wrong. I think the first episode they did fairly well. That was their whole thing, was them going on the hot streak. And they did well with the commercials technically, but they screwed up personally. Aside from the science and everything, they fell there. But the second episode was like their normal kind of classic failure, where it was just like, yeah, bad commercial, and then the perverts come in. But definitely two hilarious episodes. Definitely looking forward to the rest of the season. Seems like they're, based on the little promo that they have for like the whole season thing, they're definitely pushing the kind of advertiser rivalry that they have. I'm looking forward to that, because that was like a big part of the first episode, where it's like, we want to buy you guys out and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And it was really funny how nice the guy was to them, and they were always insulting him. And Tim saying like, hit you in the head with a baseball bat. It's like, boom, you're a vegetable. So all that stuff was super funny. So I'm curious where that's headed and how they're gonna kind of play around with that. But that I definitely thought was funny. Sheila was hilarious, trying not to be like, a bigot about I can't even think of the character's name, but about her friend being lesbian. So that was super funny. And she put up like the giant picture, and it's just like everything she was doing was just super ridiculous. And she had the flag, it was like, hey, and she like pushes the flag forward and stuff. It was just so silly. But Sheila definitely had some funny moments in these first two episodes. And then they do with the, putting the sardines in the guy's car, which I don't think that'll. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, you put sugar in a tank, it'll mess the car up. So I don't know if sardines are gonna like destroy a car like that, but it made me laugh. But definitely two really good episodes kicking off the second season. Like I said, definitely looking forward to things going forward. All the jokes, obviously, like, hopefully people love the jokes, whether they're from Detroit or not. But like the Verner's thing made me laugh, and they're like, can't drink it too fast with the bubble. So it's like, yep, that's Verner. So that, just everything that they do that I know makes me laugh really hard. So I always wonder, like, it's so much funnier if you're from the city, or at least know, stuff from Detroit. And it's like, I wonder how much people really enjoy the show if they aren't even from Detroit, because it makes me crack up. Like, I think the Mr. Allen's thing probably makes people laugh just because of the voice. Like, the way they played that was funny no matter what, because the guy was like, why does he sound like that? It was like, well, you sound like that. And it was just super funny. Like, it was really awkward but hilarious. So they, like, everything that they reference, I think they do a good job making it funny no matter what. But I feel like if you're from the city, it's just like a million times funnier. But some of the stuff I laughed at no matter what, like the Ned thing, and the dude yelling at Sheila to get the edge, just those two scenes had nothing to do with the city specifically, and that just had me cracking up. So love these first two episodes. Definitely want to know what you guys thought about them, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. What would you guys like to see for this season? I know if you look up some of the information, the next two episodes I think are kind of out there, but I'm curious what they're gonna get for the city. We already saw them do the Dream Cruise, but I would love to see them. That would be cool if they did that, like every season they had like a Dream Cruise episode. I don't know how they could do that every season and have a different storyline about the Dream Cruise, but that would just be a cool little thing. But I'm really curious what they're gonna get, and kind of just what they're gonna have in general. So that should be entertaining for sure. But like I said, definitely want to know what you guys thought about these first two episodes, what you guys want to see from the season, what you're looking forward to. What jokes you want to see about the city, stuff like that, and what actors maybe you want to see from the city, because they had Keegan Michael Key, who's from Detroit. They have, they had a bunch of people actually in the first season. Now I think about it, like a ton of people were actually from Detroit. So probably be doing that all over again. But we'd love to know what you guys want to see. Like I said, what you guys thought about these first two episodes. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.